Take two. Yet again. So frustrated. YouTube, what are we doing? Okay, if you're lost, I'm sorry. Every single time I start my live streams, every single time, the first one never has audio. Second one works perfectly fine. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, maybe I jinxed myself because no one's come in here just yet, but let's see. Let's see. So, how's everyone doing? No, he's not. I hear you. What? What? Why? Why does it do me? Why does it do me? Why does it do this to me every single time? Is there a bot working against me? Is there a cabal of elite people that are like, let's get Scott Johnson? Why is it? I want to talk to the manager. I am in full on manager mode because I want to talk to the manager on why my audio never works when I try to go live the first time, but second time it works. I don't get it. Ooh, God, good God, girl, get a grip because I mm, I am about to go full Karen. I really am. uh, anyway, my mom's name is Karen. Oh, bless her. I feel so bad for her sometimes. Um, before I put up the green screen, do we think we need the retouch? Ooh, I look really cute with the retouch. This is my normal skin, but if I do the retouch, ooh, I look like a god. All right, no, we're actually doing it. um, Anyway, hello everyone and good morning. It is a beautiful day. Yes, that was Yzma. We will get to that because, we will get there. Hold on, let me get situated here real quick. Get everything in order. In order. I'm going to try to move a little bit today into a different position. Maybe that will make me not shake my make me shake my phone as much. So anyway, good morning. Hello. How's it going? It is now almost the 2 minute and 30-second mark. Well, it just passed, but I appreciate every single one of you. I can tell that he's mentally and physically ill. Oh, 100%. I thought he said it was sedition. Oh, yes, we're gonna be getting to all of that. It is apparently seditious to criticize Trump. The word sedition means to separate from. So, yes, I would love to separate from Trump if we can. That would be ideal. Um, that all being said, let's talk about this orange Oompa Loompa. Bless his heart, I don't think this is an actual edited photo. His face is just truly drooping. He's gonna start looking like Joe Biden here a few months. Because like, ooh, buddy, ooh, buddy. Actually, that's a huge insult to Joe Biden. Joe Biden would at least say like, no joke, kids, I'll give you a knuckle sandwich. I know my Biden impression is cringy. Anyway, but let me tell you, I'm in one of the best physical shapes ever. Some say that round is a shape. Some say that round is a shape. I'm more of an oval. I'm more of an oval because I belong in the Oval Office. Yes, I belong in the Oval Office. Let me tell you what I put out on Truth Social not more than 24 hours ago. Let me tell you what I put out there because let me tell you the fake news, they're all after me. They're out to get me. They're trying to sabotage me like the darn little kid in Home Alone, sabotaging the little thieves that come in and take all of the toys. Okay, let me get to what Trump says here. All right, Trump suggests it's treasonous to report that he's in bad physical shape. So, shortly after holding a rally in Pennsylvania on Tuesday night, last night, the president took to Truth Social, Lie Social, to boast about his supposed accomplishments, including the highly dubious claim about having ended more than half a dozen wars. Yeah, we'll get there. Make sure to send some likes. I love all of you. The algorithm is currently working against me, so please do what you can to prop up the live stream. I love all of you. Um, I don't know if it's being shared to other people, but it means a lot when you all help fuel the live, all right? So, in addition, Trump raged against the Times, the New York Times, for its reporting on his health. Last month, the publication ran a piece titled Shorter Days, Signs of Fatigue, Trump Faces Realities of Aging in Office. Interesting there. I mean, he is starting to droop. Bless his heart. He's starting to look like a raisin. Like, when you leave a grape out in the sun too long, that's Donald Trump is a bad grape that has gotten shriveled and his skin is becoming raisinous. I am making that into a word. I decree it now. And continuing on here, Trump's health has faced increased attention during his second term. On multiple occasions, he has appeared to doze off during televised meetings, and I thought that we were supposed to call him Sleepy Don, or is it Sleepy Joe? Well, they're the king of nicknames, but we know this to be true. At least once, one side of his face appeared to droop. He has repeatedly been seen with a bandage covering his right hand, which has also been appeared as bruise, raisinous. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, I'm making that into a term. Donald Trump, bless his heart, is a raisinous, waxy orange figure, just lurking from the shadows. Let me tell you, I'll give you a piece of candy. I'll give you a piece of candy. It won't be, it will be orange flavored. It will be orange flavored. It is written now. He's a melted circus peanut. He's a melted circus peanut. Not a peanut. Not a peanut. Um, the president also seemed to have less of a filter than he did the first term. What kind of no? Moreover, Trump received a second annual physical this year, after which he had received an MRI, but said he had no idea what they analyzed. Okay, hold on. Let me just say something really quickly. Trump received his second annual physical. Annual, as a term, means that it comes around once a year. Like, it's an annual thing. Like, the annual tradition of Christmas comes around once a year. So for it to be a second annual physical is noteworthy, because then it's not an annual thing. It is a semi-annual thing, which shows that you are aging. Yeah, bro. Like becoming raisinous. Like becoming a grape left out in the sun, you are becoming raisinous. Less of a filter is awesome. Oh, bless his heart. I mean, it depends on what that she is, because oh my god. Speaking of not having a filter, let me just share what he put out on his Truth Social when he posted this. He posted it Tuesday night. Um at 9:11. Oh, that's apt. 9:11. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, girl. Yesterday, 9:11 tomorrow. I can't English. All right. He put out this long Truth Social post. Let me tell you, this is what it looks like, all in one take. You can't read this. So what I did instead was I split it up into 4 separate graphics that we can actually read. And of course, I underline portions that are noteworthy. But let me fully read this for you all. All right. There has never been a president that has worked as hard as me. My hours are the longest, and my results are among the best. All truth, no lies. Pause. That is very subjective. If Biden had said that same thing, I'd be like, is there an is there an objective metric in which we can see this? Oh, thanks for the flower. I've stopped 8 wars, saving many millions of lives in the process, created the greatest economy in the history of our country, brought back business into the United States at levels never seen before, rebuilt our military, created the largest tax cuts and regulations ever, closed our open and dangerous borders, yada yada. I'm skipping ahead because all of this is the stupidest, most boring crap that I've always said for years. And also created an aura. An aura. One of those things that all the Gen Zs talk about, an aura. I've created an aura. No, that is not a Disney princess. An aura is not a Disney princess. It's one of those glowing things behind. It's not a little halo. Not like Beyonce's halo. But let me tell ya, I created an aura around the United States that has led every country in the world to respect us more than ever before. More than ever before. An aura. Okay, pause. Let me created an aura around the United States. Pause. All right. So, is this more of a metaphor or a physical thing? Because my question is, an aura, that's supposed to be like your glowing figure, your glowing silhouette behind you. You know, if you have an aura, if it goes like a certain color, it's supposed to say something about you. Is his aura orange? Just genuine question. Is his aura orange? I bet you that if he were to have another daughter, he would have named it Aura. Aura Trump. Aura Trump. Actually, no. He would be someone would say something about with someone with the last name, and then he would go, Aura Trump or a Trump. I'm funny. If you don't like my laughs, don't laugh. That's fine. Whatever. I think I'm hilarious. Y'all make sure to send some likes. I appreciate all of you. Let me get to the next part here. And just a quick little slide. Speaking of an aura around the United States, um, I just want to compare the change in favorability based on the populations of people in other countries. So you can see like this is percent who have favorable opinion of the US compared to for 2024 and 2025. You can see that a majority of countries have shifted and have a lower favorability rating now than they did in 2024. Just but oh no, the details. The details, they get in the way. The fake news that doesn't align with my fantasy, with my preferred narrative. I don't like it. I don't like it when reality is against me. Just, just throwing that out there. There are some countries that have views that are becoming more positive of Trump, like Israel. You know, I guess the state that's waging a genocide against someone. Nigeria, I don't know what's going on there, and Turkey. Um, well, Turkey probably likes him a little bit more now because his skin is starting to get buttery and flaky and turn more brown and orange by the day. The country of Turkey is like, "Oh, he's becoming one of us." Okay, I think I'm funny. Let me go back to what he was saying here. Good God. Let me continue. In addition to all of that, I go out of my way to do long, thorough, very boring medical examinations at the great Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, seen and supervised by top doctors, all of who have given me perfect marks. Perfect marks. They take a black Sharpie and they will say, okay, one more mark on the forearm for you, counting one more day we have to deal with your crap. Let me tell you, perfect marks. Not even like a Karl Marx, but perfect marks. Some have even said they have never seen such strong results. I do these tests because I owe it to our country. I do the medical what is it? In addition to the medical, I have done something that no president has ever done on three separate occasions, the last one being recently by taking what is known as a cognitive examination. What is known as a cognitive examination? No, it's not a cognitive test. I think the word cognitive is more like a part of a machine because it has the word cog. Cog in the machine, cognitive examination. Is that like a machine inspection? I don't know, but something which few people would be able to do very well, including those at the New York Times. I aced all three of them in front of large numbers of doctors and experts, most of whom I do not know. At least he's being honest there. He's like, I don't know who you are, doctor, patient, exam, syringe, blood. I don't know what the exam is. But like, I'm just reading this. I'm just reading this long thing. If this was a Democratic president that is going on and on about being some sort of, like, super sharp maverick and all this stuff, I would look at this, and I'm a, of course, registered progressive Democrat. I look at this and I'd be like, "Dude, are you okay? Ranting in this way is not healthy. It is really shows your mental decline." Like, I'm just pointing it out. Looking at this, if someone were to talk like this in a normal day-to-day conversation, I would look at them and I'd be like, "Do you need a juice box and a croissant? Because, dude, you were having a moment. You were having a moment. Do you need me to put in some, like, pigs in a blanket in the microwave and give them to you as a snack? Do we need a Snickers bar to calm down so you can go from, Mad Hulk to Betty White?" Like, because looking at this, like, for the president is clearly not okay. I mean, he says a whole bunch of shit, but, like, yeah. You can come to a different analysis than me, that's fine. You have the freedom to disagree. Though I would hope this here's the thing. If you pick and choose when to apply your logic based on when it suits you, then I'm sorry, you're just a shill for some political party. And it can go both ways. It usually just means that you're a MAGA Trumper, but you know what I mean. If you're looking at this and you think that, oh, perfect ranks, ask yourself, if Biden had started ranting in this way, do you think he'd be okay? No. I sure hope not. I sure hope you would say, yeah, he it would show he's kind of out of it. And Biden was out of it in a different way. But still, this is the thing. I just ask a simple premise on everyone in America. Apply your feelings, your logic equally based on who it is, regardless of political affiliation. Because if you truly look at this and you're like, "Oh yeah, you know, this makes perfect sense," and you're one of those Trumpers, and then all of a sudden turn around and be like, "Oh, if this was Biden, oh yeah, I'd show he's out of it." Then you do realize that you're picking and choosing when you want to apply your own preferred narrative, which shows that you are literally a cog in the machine for a political party. It shows that you are a tool to be used for President Trump to benefit, which you should have some self-respect. Just saying. Anyway, Biden's was natural old age problems. Yeah. Trump is just like dementia and madman problems. Yeah. So I'm just putting it out there. Um, it continues. Do we wanna continue? Make sure to like the stream, everyone. Also, if you're enjoying the coverage, please smash that subscribe button. I have been heavily shadow banned for the last, like, several weeks, which has been very infuriating for me. So it means a lot when you all are here and click that subscribe button. Um, I have been told that few people have been able to ace this examination. And in fact, most do very poorly, which is why many presidents have decided not to take it at all. I also don't think that many presidents have to take as many tests as you do. Probably for several reasons, because they aren't deemed as much of a risk as you are, Bubba. But, just warp reality to your preferred narrative. Love that. Despite all of this, the time and the work involved, the New York Times and some others like to pretend that I am slowing up. Okay, for a second, I'm like, wait a minute. Slowing up? I thought the expression was slowing down. Are we deciding to go against the conventional wisdom? Truth be told, I did not read this New York Times article. I don't have a subscription. I don't want to give them my money. No. I don't know if he's quoting the article or just getting the saying wrong. I know of the saying slowing down, but slowing up? Next, he's going to say slowing right because we can't go left anymore. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, just had to point that out. And maybe not as sharp as I once was, or I'm in poor physical health, knowing that is not true, and knowing that I work very hard, probably harder than I've ever worked before, I will know when I am slowing up again, slowing up. Like, dude. Um, but it's not now. It's not now. Yeah, it's okay. The chat is being crazy. People are just facing cognitive dissonance. It's fine. If you're one of these MAGA Trump pumpers that are banging on your chest thinking you're some sort of macho man, I ask you, genuine question. What is it like to hand over your paycheck for Trump merchandise? To buy your 47 Trump shirts, your 16 Trump hats, your 18 Trump signs, your Trump shoes, your Trump cologne, your Trump Bible, and then you look at liberals who have a genuine, like, collective belief in the common good, and you say, "You're sheep!" That's when I, as a Southern gay guy, goes, "Bless your heart." Like, genuinely, bless your little heart. Pobre niño. Like, um, anyway, he continues, after all the work I have done with medical exams and cognitive exams and everything else, I actually believe, with my heart of hearts, my heart, which is made of a lot of fungus, I actually believe it's seditious, or perhaps even treasonous, for the New York Times and others to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean the President of the United States. They are true enemies of the people. Okay, okay. Let's take Trump's logic and use it in the Biden era in regards to farther right outlets like Fox News or OANN or Newsmax when they reported on Biden. There was some truth. Why do you think that Democrats replaced the Democratic nominee in 2024? We were like, "Oh, yeah, he really is old. Maybe we should just swap right now." And they did. That all being said, let's take this and let's put it on the other foot in 2024. Let's say that Biden were to come out and say, "I actually believe it's treasonous or perhaps even seditious for the New York Times to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean the President of the United States." If this was any other president, this would be the biggest scandal and call for impeachment, removal. This would be a huge thing. You know why Trump has an aura, speaking of auras, of, like, immunity from scandal? You know why that is? It's because a good chunk of Americans are in a cult. They don't apply their logic equally, they literally just blindly follow. That's why Trump can do so much crap and shit and get away with it, because he's brainwashed people into believing somehow an alternative narrative. That's why he's known as Teflon Don. It's because he is held to a different standard than other people. He doesn't have standards. That's the thing. People revere him as a god. Sorry, I don't care what your political affiliation is or who you are. What I believe in holding everyone equally accountable. I don't care if you're a part of my party or not. I care. Why else do you think Democrats don't favor people like Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer or Andrew Cuomo? That's why we vote for people like Zora Mamdani, because it's like, okay, a fresh change. So, that all being said, I just yearn for an America where the whole electorate applies their logic equally and are not used as tools for a rich man's gain like Trump. And that goes for anyone of any political persuasion. If Trump was a Democrat and he was acting like this, I'd be like, "Look, this is really bad look. We need to stop." And for all these MAGA people, somehow you always get your little panties in a wad thinking, "Oh my god, he's just trying to do it to criticize Republicans." Take for a second Trump just not being a Republican. This is about him. This is about his character. This is about his crap, his constant corruption. You can disagree with me and be a member of a cult if you want. Go ahead. You have that freedom here in America. But I ask that you have some self respect. and you actually use your autonomy to benefit yourself and your community. Because Donald Trump does not give a flying fuck about you. No, no, he does not. Anyway, you can disagree, you have the freedom to disagree, but that would make you silly. So, continuing on here, I just laughed so hard where he's like, I genuinely believe that after everything, I believe it's seditious, perhaps even treasonous, for other people to criticize me in the media, the true enemies of the people. Like, is this man okay? Genuinely, is this man okay? Trump went on to complain about the publication's coverage of his election results after Trump's physical. In April, his doctor claimed the president is 6'3" and 224 pounds, which is roughly the frame of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. That's interesting. This person's like, I'm not I'm not horrified by Trump. We've always known how despicable he is. I'm horrified by how many Americans and neighbors are willing to go along with him. Very, very, very fair. Um, just looking at this, like, yeah. And this is what it's like for MAGA. We can afford a $40 billion bailout for Argentina, but then all of a sudden healthcare for Americans becomes up in the air. Or funding things like children's cancer research, becomes up in the air, but, we have money for a ballroom. Or buying a Qatari jet from a country that has hostile, nefarious intentions, and then, "Oh, but we can't do SNAP and WIC benefits." Or, special education programs, funding those, but, like, we can afford to take over, like, cities all across the world and do them with National Guard and crap, like, just terrorizing people. It's just crazy. But let me get to some other people here. When you're looking at this whole statement, this person said, "This isn't a statement from the president. It's a panicked manifesto from a man arguing with his own reflection." Yeah, pages of rambling, self-diagnosing, bragging about cognitive tests no one takes unless doctors are worried about decline. And then turn, blaming the press, screaming treason, demanding newspapers be shut down, not strength, not confidence, just a frightened man watching his mind slip and lashing out at anyone who notices. If anyone else posted this, we call it what it is, a crisis, not leadership. I think that is so eloquently said. And I've been saying it all along. Like, this isn't about him being Trump. If this was Hakeem Jeffries that posted this, if this was Chuck Schumer or Dick Durbin or Nancy Pelosi that posted this kind of crap, like bragging about taking a cognitive test and over time, like, just imagine if this was Nancy Pelosi saying this. I really encourage you, disassociate the fact that it's Trump. Disassociate the fact that it's Trump. Knowing that this kind of statement is said by a person, do you think that they'd be mentally well? I hope that you and I can agree that this kind of statement shows how far off someone would be. If this was any Democrat, any Republican, like, it's not, and this is the thing. A lot of this is from my days of being a political psychology student. A lot of people get so wrapped up in this team sports partisan mumbo jumbo. It's not about that. It's about the substance. Take off your jersey for a second and think critically on your own. And when I say take off the jersey, take off red jersey, take off blue jersey, take off that crap, okay? Just look at the substance. This is why people that are like, okay, let's just focus on the issues and not the platitudes, not the drama. No, no, just look at the genuine things. Why else do you think that Zoran Mamdani was able to actually get some people who were Trump voters to then be like, oh, you know what? You're talking about affordability. Yeah, you make a lot of sense. It's not about the parties, it's not about the drama, it's about the policies, it's about the substance, it's about the people, it's about what you can do. When you're looking at this, take off the jersey. Pretend this isn't Trump saying this. Pretend it's not. It's not Trump. And just someone were to say this. I sure hope that you and I are gonna look at this and be like, "Yeah, this person's not mentally well." And that's the thing, many MAGA people, you cannot disassociate your adoration, your admiration, your blind following of Trump versus his actions. You can't disassociate that. The same way that a lot of Democrats, not all, but most Democrats can from their leaders. I hope that everyone can do that. Take out the D and the R and just look at the objective stuff. I would love for a political psychologist to do studies where people don't know the partisanship and see how much we have in common, because that's really what it comes down to. I just yearn for a world where we can all take off the sports jersey and just look at the substance. Because if you look at the substance of what Trump does and what he says, take out that part, you can be like, yeah, this man's not mentally or even physically well. Someone says you clearly hate Trump because you're gay. No, I hate Trump for everything that he does to hurt marginalized people, not because of my identity. As soon as I become gay, is it like a thing where you're supposed to hate Trump? No. No, I don't like what he does because of so many reasons. He's going around terrorizing Americans right now. He's going around terrorizing communities, taking away people's food stamps, demonizing people who have disabilities, doing these tariffs which are bankrupting farmers. Like, I don't need to be gay to hate Trump. Plus, I don't like him for the myriad of reasons I just spelled out. But see, your interpretation and projection of what you want my reason to be is what you decide to thrust upon me, which is why I'll never get through to people like that. I won't, and I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to get through to people who have the inability to listen. I'm trying to give other people the empowerment and the strength to be able to battle this moment with the tools that we need. Just saying. Let me continue here because I don't want to get off track. So, with all of this being said, I actually did I actually asked Grok for a whole fact check. I said, "Hey, can you fact check this post from Trump and point out any inaccuracies and false claims?" Ooh, did Grok give me a 5-paragraph essay. Just looking at this, work ethics and achievements. Claim, there's never been a president that has worked as hard as me. My hours are the longest. My results are among the best. This assessment, subjective and unverifiable. No objective metric ranks presidential hours worked across the country. Imagine if this was like Obama that said, there's never been a president that has worked as hard as me. It's like, how do you measure objectively working hard? If Are you measuring how many hours you work? Are you measuring how many bills you pass? This is where scientific brain gets in the way of a preferred narrative. Like, if you're going to make a claim, if you're going to make a subjective claim, I hope that you at least have some sort of data point to back it up. If I were to say that I am the most handsome man in the world, which I think I'm handsome, but I don't know about in the world, someone would say, okay, that's very opinionated and subjective. By what metric? What are you measuring? Are you going on charm? Are you going on wit? Are you going on physical looks? Like, how do you measure that kind of thing? So it just goes to show, like, how crazy Trump is. There's never been a president that has worked as hard as me. How do you quantify hard work? How do you measure hard work? And is someone's hard work worth more than other people's hard work? Like, how does that work? Um, Trump's first term schedule was often criticized for being lighter than his predecessors. For example, fewer daily briefings, per analyses from the American Presidency Project. But also, in his second term, shows a 39% drop in public events compared to the same period in his first term, even. So they're like, okay, well, we don't have any like objective metrics necessarily, but if we did, it actually would show kind of the opposite if we were to use them. Just pointing it out. Grok, just raining on the parade of Trump. I've stopped 8 wars, saving millions of lives in the process. This assessment by AI Grok, mostly false. Trump has claimed credit for brokering ceasefires or agreements in conflicts involving Armenia, Azerbaijan, Thailand, Cambodia, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Israel and Iran, Israel Hamas, India and Pakistan, Egypt, Ethiopia, Serbia, and Kosovo. However, fact checks from BBC, USA Today, PolitiFact, and PRIO show these were often temporary de escalations, not stopped wars with limited US involvement. I should do like a whole rendition of the whole, like, I've stopped all these wars because, like, he's claiming that he's stopped all these wars. And for these Trump supporters, if Trump says something, it becomes true, it becomes gospel to them. Imagine being that kind of person where someone just makes a claim and you just decide to believe in them. You just trust them. You take away any part of your agency, independent, critical thinking, and you just blindly trust them. Trust is earned, but also scrutiny is warranted. I will vote for a Democrat. That doesn't mean I necessarily trust them. See, and this is the thing about accountability. Accountability, we need to put it back in politics. Like, we don't need blind adoration where all of a sudden you just go along with what a political figure says just because they're a part of your political party. You're supposed to critically think and scrutinize every single action by your leaders. That's what our American spirit calls us to do. That's what the fabric of our founders believed in. That's what they truly like. I don't know. Following along with a cult literally is the biggest slap in the face to the spirit of our American founders. I don't know how else to say it. What about Russia and Ukraine, right? Yeah. Um, but I could go on and on and on about all these things. Claim greatest economy in the history of our country. False. Just Grok just goes on and I can add so many specific things. Rebuilding our military, closed our whatever. That one again, the creating an aura around the United States. I stopped 1,000 wars, and my brain is a genius brain. Yeah, no, 100%. Um, but I just thought it was funny because I took a picture and I just copied and pasted the whole thing, and Grok gave me a big rundown of all of it. Um, Claim, after all the work I have done in the medical exams, the cognitive exams, and everything else, I actually believe it's seditious and perhaps even treasonous for the New York Times and others to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean the President of the United States. And I just think it's funny because Grok is like, false. Reporting on public figures' health and fitness is protected speech, not seditious and treasonous. Do you all remember? Okay, small side rant. Do you all remember the Alien and Sedition Acts? Do you all remember the Alien and Sedition Acts that was a part of right after the founding of our country? It was during the John Adams presidency. He was a Federalist. Don't think of it in terms of Democrat, Republican. That they were the political parties then were very different. There were the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. John Adams, our second president, oftentimes we learn about like, oh, the American Revolution, oh, the Constitution. Then after that, you kind of get to like, oh, Lincoln was shot, Civil War. But in between there is a moment in history called the Alien and Sedition Acts, where right after our country was founded, we wrote our Constitution, talked about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press for all people, unless you're a woman or a marginalized person or don't own land. Problematic in that sense. But there was the Alien and Sedition Acts, which were passed, which basically were passed by a Federalist Congress and passed by a Federalist president that basically said that it is illegal for you to criticize the American government. Do you all remember that moment in history? I did a big breakdown of it. That's crazy. It's like Trump is advocating for that. If you criticize him, you are committing an illegal action. You post about anything regarding his fitness or health or whatever, it's a seditious and treasonous behavior. Freedom of speech does not extend unless if you are criticizing Trump. Tell me that he would not prefer to live in a world like that. Or is he just saying this kind of crap to make liberals cry? Regardless, this is not the kind of behavior we need as a president. Like, if you're gonna say that you're joking, say you're joking, but he's not, because we know he's not. Um, but just pointing all that out. If you wanna go down the rabbit hole, type in and look up the Alien and Sedition Acts. Literally, right after the country was founded, they made it illegal at one point to criticize the government, even locking lawmakers in jail for it. They were, like, criticizing their own government, being like, "We need to be better," and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, we're in jail now because we criticized the government." So we went from being fighting against monarchy to then becoming like, "Oh, you can't criticize our government." It's like you became the thing that you condemned. Anyway, um, claims about his physical and cognitive exams, yada yada. I also want to point out Trump did take a Montreal cognitive assessment. It's called a MoCA. It's such a basic screening tool for severe dementia. It's not a difficult test. Scoring 30 out of 30 is normal. 30 out of 30 is normal and expected for a healthy person. It's not evidence of genius. It's like, why even taking the test itself and like, doesn't that kind of show something's up, you know? Um, just pointing all that out. Also, this is just another genuine thing, and I have a hard cutoff in 2 minutes. Emma Vigeland, someone that I actually truly admire, Trump did a rally yesterday in Pennsylvania, and at one point he said, um, I said, "Why is it we take people only from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, Denmark? But we always take people from Somalia. Places that are filthy, dirty, disgusting." Knowing a little bit about the geography of certain countries, the demographics of people, that is really telling as a statement. You're preferring countries that could possibly have immigrants from Norway, Sweden, or Denmark, majority white Scandinavian populations. But then as soon as it becomes an African country with someone who might be Muslim or a person of color or look a little bit different, not white, all of a sudden they are filthy, dirty, and disgusting. This is just racism. If this was Biden that said this, I'd be appalled. It's not about Trump itself. It's about the statement. It's about the statement. Anyone that makes this statement, I don't care if it was Kamala Harris that made this statement. I'd be like, "Oh my god." It's the statement itself, you know? Um It's just it's embarrassing, and Ilhan Omar, who's Somalian, was like, "Trump's obsession with me is beyond weird. He needs serious help." He needs serious help. This is just him riling up a whole crowd of people based on racism. It's and, like, I just wanna point out, and this would be a whole thing for me to talk about, there were ties that Fred Trump, Trump's dad, had to the KKK. Um And, like, there's all of this documentation about it. Um, Fred Trump was arrested in the 1920s at a Klan rally in Queens, New York. I'd have to verify that. This coming from a guy who lusts after his daughter, says that if Ivanka weren't her daughter, wasn't his daughter, perhaps he'd be dating her. You all remember that. Newsflash, Trump, no one from Norway, Sweden, or Denmark would even consider coming to the US. Get real, Mr. Racist. Why would countries with social safety nets and a higher life satisfaction want to come to a country that spreads sickness, disinformation, violence, and bigotry? Good question. There was one person that posted this. That's Ilhan Omar and Trump. I kinda found that meme cringy, you know? I agree with this, I stand with Ilhan Omar, but, like, that was just kind of a cringy thing, just had to point that out. Trump admits to taking he took another cognitive test, they don't just give those out for funsies. Um, oh, and the last thing, I know I have a hard cutoff that just passed, but theirs was another moment. You all remember when he said, "You don't need 30 dolls, you just need 1, maybe 2." He went on to say that again. "You will have 1 doll, 1 pencil, a tiny truck." So let me get to this. Trump's affordability speech is now him talking about children only needing 1 or 2 pencils and how you don't need 37 dolls for your daughter. He's saying, "Maybe you only need 1 pencil. Maybe you only need 1 pencil, and maybe not 37 dolls, just 2." Um, you will own nothing and be happy. Or, "Meanwhile, look at my gigantic ballroom for all my rich cronies." It's wild for him to be saying that you can have so little and be happy. Yet it's Trump building a lavish ballroom. It's like him taking away all the Christmas toys and like as the Grinch, then dropping 2 stuffed Trump dolls. And this was an actual segment on Fox. Um, Fox guest on how to save money during the holidays. Remember, adults don't need gifts. Focus on the people in your life who are aged 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. And no slippers for that damn grandma. That's just cruel. This is what it's like in why is it that all of a sudden working class people can't have nice things, and then Trump, a billionaire, gets to have a huge ballroom? And then all of a sudden these maggots start to believe, "Oh, look, he's a working class he's a man of the people." Clowns! Absolute clowns! Just pointing all that out. Healthcare, please. I'm building y'all the biggest ballroom. Aren't you proud? Yeah. Okay, then why does Elon Musk need like 500 billion? That's a lot of pencils and dolls. Nothing like a billionaire telling the less fortunate what they should and should not have. And again, it wraps around to this, one of my favorite villains of all time, Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. Ha! You should have thought of that before you became peasants. Anyway, I have to go. I have to get to work. You all are amazing. I know that there were a lot of craziness in here today. If you enjoyed the live, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. I have been heavily shadow banned on this app, and so having your all support means so much to me. It really does. I could not do any of this without my moderators, my good friends. Um I seriously love all of you. I know, I have to go. Um, I'm sorry, Todd Allen Hanks. Um, but I will say, if you wanna see more of my live streams, if you're just loving the vibe, go and check out the live tab on my YouTube because it has all of my past live streams. And so, if you ever miss one and you're like, "Oh, I missed him today," go check out the live tab. Just go and check it out, just listen to it while you're on the way to work or, maybe you're doing laundry or something like that. I seriously love each and every single one of you. Don't forget to check out past live streams if you missed one. Sometimes the world goes a mile a minute. It's okay to check it out. So, anyway, I appreciate all of you. I have to get to work. Be safe, Scott. Take care and stay safe out there. Yes, 100%. Misinformation mayhem 112. Oh my god, that picture. That picture is haunting. Um, I appreciate all of you. Shout out to my amazing moderators. Um, Seriously, I appreciate every single one of you. Kantisa, Cherie, Ellie, Akicha, Ilisa, Kate, Jenny, um, Jenny, Folk Me Softly. I love that. Y'all did an amazing job today. I know it was really crazy. Joanna Tech, um, I know it was a lot, but y'all did great. So anyway, I appreciate every single one of you. I need to skedaddle. I need to get ready for work. So just remember that you are beautiful, you are loved, you are valid, you are strong, and you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever, 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 ever dim your shine. I love all of you so, so much.